Barcelona is a city with a wide range of original leisure options that encourage you to visit time and time again. Overlooking the Mediterranean Sea and famous for Gaudí and other Art Nouveau architecture, Barcelona is one of Europe's trendiest cities. It's a hub of new trends in the world of culture, fashion, and cuisine. The charm and slower pace of the old town, the avant-garde vibe of more modern neighborhoods, and the fast pace of one of the world's most visited cities coexist in Barcelona. The Mediterranean character and streets full of ambiance also set the trend in Barcelona. The possibilities are almost endless, ranging from popular options such as a stroll down Las Ramblas or traditional markets such as La Boqueria, to relaxing moments on the city beaches or the many pavement cafes in the old town. Culinary options are also varied, with world-renowned haute cuisine restaurants, traditional Catalan dishes, food markets, and establishments that take you around the world with their flavors. Environmentally friendly electric vehicles are also available for hire, ensuring you find the means of transport that best suits your needs. Barcelona is one of Europe's most enduringly fascinating cities, an enticing mix of high culture and vibrant street life, fabulous food, and artistic masterpieces. No visit to the Catalan capital is complete without a visit to the mind-blowing Sagrada Família, the show-stopping masterpiece of Antoni Gaudí's glittering career and a true Catalan icon. Visible from all over town, the immense Sagrada Família is synonymous with the city of Barcelona and the unique architectural genius of its visionary creator, Antoni Gaudí. Gaudí is one of the 20th century's most important architects, and his extraordinarily sculptural architectural visions are unique in the world. The Sagrada Família is Gaudí's magnum opus, an awe-inspiring confection of countless turrets and sculpture-encrusted facades with a magical interior that seems to transport you to an impossible enchanted forest. The church's strangely undulating honeycomb stonework positively pulses with life, and the spectacular light effects within the basilica have to be experienced in person to be believed. The Sagrada Família exemplifies Barcelona's Art Nouveau movement at its very best. In Gaudi's design, the church was to have 3 facades, each devoted to a different period in the life of Christ: the Eastern Nativity facade, the Western Passion facade, and the Southern Glory facade. There were no queues, no shoals of gawping flesh. Inside, the organ was being practiced. Singing could be heard from somewhere within the cloisters, and a beautiful stone fountain of clear drinking water offered a welcome refreshment, while 13 white geese wandered freely in the center of the cloister. This was beauty on a human scale. Many people were even using it as a place to sit quietly and pray. Before moving to the next location, let's play this fun game. Which major international event was hosted in Barcelona in 1992? Feel free to give your answer in the comments section. In 1888, Barcelona hosted the Universal Exhibition. The Arc de Triomphe was built as the gateway to the fair, which was held in the Parc de la Ciutadella. The monument is classical in shape and proportions and features groundbreaking sculptural and decorative finishes, replete with symbolism. The Arc de Triomphe rises up majestically at the top of the Passeig de Gracia companies. The gateway to the 1888 Universal Exhibition, the arch stood at the end of the Saló de Sant Joan, the boulevard that led to the exhibition grounds in the Parc de la Ciutadella. The architect Josep Vilaseca designed a monument of classical style and proportions as an allegory of Barcelona's respect for the nations and provinces taking part in the exhibition. If you take a close look at the arch, you'll soon realize that the Arc de Triomphe was the gateway to the modern Barcelona of the late 19th century. The frieze overlooking the Passeig de Sant Joan depicts Barcelona welcoming the nations, and the frieze facing the park shows the city presenting medals to the exhibition participants. There are reliefs on one side symbolizing agriculture and industry, and commerce and art on the other. At the top of the arch, the shields of the 49 Spanish provinces are presided over by the coat of arms of the city of Barcelona. The most popular time to visit Arc de Triomphe is from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. You will spend an average time of 1 hour at the attraction. Monday, Fridays, and Sundays are the busiest days at Arc de Triomphe. If you are watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Parc Güell in Barcelona was designed by Antoni Gaudí between 1900 and 1914 at the request of Eusebi Güell. At the time, the patron-architect relationship was well established following several previous commissions, such as El Capricho, the Güell Estate, and Palau Güell. The original request was to create a housing development for families within an estate with over 17 hectares, popularly known as the Bear Mountain. This development had a series of extremely restrictive requirements, such as, for example, the fact that building could only be carried out on a sixth of the estate. Furthermore, its location and height could not obstruct sunlight or prevent residents from seeing the sea views and the Barcelona Esplanade. It was given the name of Parc Güell due to the influence of the British residential parks that Eusebi Güell so loved, and his request to recreate them. Construction of the park was carried out during Gaudí's naturalist stage, when he perfected his personal style, inspired by the organic forms of nature. One of his greatest works, Casa Batllo, is also an example of this stage. This much-loved park, which is greatly appreciated by the people of Barcelona, also gained appreciation the whole world over in 1984, when it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Barcelona's Parc Güell limits the entry of visitors to the monumental area of the park, so the space can be managed to the highest possible standards of service, efficiency, and sustainability. And so we can offer all our visitors and local users a high-quality experience. If you come here, what do you want to experience most? It was laid out in 1766, following the contours of the medieval city walls that had bounded this part of Barcelona since the 13th century. La Rambla is exactly 1.2 kilometers long, and nearly everyone who visits Barcelona walks along it. The locals took it to their hearts straight away. In Barcelona, a city of narrow, winding streets, the Rambla was the only space where everyone could stroll and spend their leisure time. And we mean everyone. Because of its central location, the Rambla became a meeting place for all the social classes. Gradually, leisure and cultural attractions found the perfect location on La Rambla. The convents disappeared and florists and newsstands set up their premises here. As you walk along, you'll see landmark buildings, such as the greatest theater of Barcelona's opera, the Gran Teatre del Liceu, the Palau de la Virena, and the spectacular Boqueria Market. This human river, with its street artists, tourists, and locals, who still come here for a stroll, take us on a journey through this microcosm of contemporary Barcelona. Aside from plenty of attractions, as you might expect, Las Ramblas is home to several upmarket hotels, some great places to eat and drink, and more than a smattering of bad ones, including the ubiquitous global fast food chains. Want to explore the best things to do in the Gothic Quarter of Barcelona? The Gothic Quarter, aka Ciutat Vella, or the Old City, is full of history, charm, and a grungy yet gorgeous aesthetic. Here, you'll find winding alleyways, old-world architecture, and hidden gems around every corner. It is one of the most attractive areas of Barcelona, and its streets are filled with medieval buildings, such as the palaces of the City Hall and the Generalitat, the Barcelona Cathedral, or the Gothic churches of Santa Maria del Pi, or Sant Just un Pastor. Here you will also find the Jewish Quarter, made up of a network of alleys in which part of the old synagogue is still preserved. Its streets revolve around several squares, including Sant Jaume, Rei, and Rail. The first is the political center of Barcelona and is home to the City Hall and the Palau de la Generalitat. Moreover, the monumental ensemble of Plaça del Rei Square is perhaps the main medieval exhibition in Barcelona, with the Palau Real Major, part of the old Roman wall, the Palau del Lloctinent, and the History Museum. Finally, La Real is a porticoed square of great beauty and very popular, especially at dusk, with its many restaurants. This neighborhood has been the heart of the city since Roman times, and in fact, it is home to the Roman necropolis, with the remains of the Roman Temple of Augustus very close to this neighborhood. We compile information from many sources. If there is anything incorrect, please comment below. The color and fantasy of the Casa Batllo captivates passers-by on the Passeig de Gracia. Standing halfway up this elegant boulevard and in a strongly contrasting style to the neighboring houses, the Casa Amatller and Casa Leo Morera, this building reveals the splendor of an architect who was able to work on this project with total creative freedom, Antoni Gaudí. The architect Antoni Gaudí undertook a radical refurbishment of a building in Barcelona's Passeig de Gracia, dating from 1875, to create one of his boldest works. Gaudí's imaginative efforts were key to the development of the project, as was the decorative work of the artisans who collaborated with him between 1904 and 1906. A simple glance gives rise to myriad interpretations. The discs of multicolored glazed ceramics and broken shards of stained glass, placed with precision, depict flowers and water lilies and play with the reflections of the sunlight. On the first floor of the Casa Batllo, a long sandstone balcony allows us to look inside the elegant mezzanine, while the other floors have balconies in the shape of masks. And at the top, a scaly ceramic skin and turret, crowned by a four-armed cross, remind us of the legend of St. George. A visit to Casa Batllo can be completed with a video guide that employs virtual and augmented reality to allow you to see what the building was originally like. It is worth taking the time to make an in-depth visit, as this gaudy masterpiece is full of secrets. A fortification at the top of Montjuic Mountain, facing the sea at an altitude of 173 meters, offers a 360-degree view of Barcelona. From the parade ground, you can admire the port, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Baix Llobregat. At the Montjuic Castle, especially in summer, exhibitions, concerts, and film cycles are organized. This site holds great historical interest for the city, as it has been an ideal building for defense. It was built during the Reapers' War in 1640 and was also used to bombard Barcelona at various moments in its history. At the end of the 19th century, the building began to be used as a prison. In 1940, the president of the Generalitat of Catalonia, Lluís Companys, was executed there, and in 1963, Franco inaugurated a military museum, which permanently closed its doors in 2009. Currently, the Montjuic Castle de Montjuic is owned by the Barcelona City Council. Today, it is visited for its impressive architecture, which features imposing military architecture with thick walls, watchtowers, and cannons. Visitors can explore its fortifications and admire the military engineering of the period. Inside the castle, there are exhibitions tracing its eventful history, with particular emphasis on its role during the Spanish Civil War. Visitors can see photographs, historical documents, and testimonies relating to this dark period. Who has been here? Comment number 7. Who has never been here? Comment number 8. This beach is inextricably linked to the fishing quarter of the same name, Barceloneta, Barcelona's classic neighborhood by the sea, where the people of Barcelona love to come and eat fish and seafood dishes and tapas. Located in the traditional fishing district, this is one of Barcelona's oldest and best-loved beaches. It is thought to have inspired Miguel de Cervantes as the setting for the fight between Don Quixote and the Knight of the White Moon. It was here that the knight-errant was finally defeated and abandoned his quest. At nearly 1,400 feet in length, you're sure to find a spot too. It is worth noting that Barceloneta is known to be on the livelier side of Barcelona's beaches. So, if you're hoping to escape the hustle and bustle of the city, it might be worth taking some headphones and heading there earlier in the day. That way, you're likely to get the best spot too. Also worth saying that the beach has pretty good Wi-Fi throughout if you want to get gramming or watch an episode or two on the sand. However, if you're looking to engage in things of a more lively nature, as the water is right there, why not try out some ocean activities while you're at Barceloneta? There's usually windsurfing, kitesurfing, and bodyboarding on offer, and if you're an enthusiast, feel free to bring your own gear and go your own way. Or, if you'd rather keep your feet firmly on the dry land, you'll find volleyball nets to strut your stuff, beach tennis, ping pong, and even an entire area for gymnastics. The perfect answer if you've had a few too many delicious cocktails during your stay. It is known to the people of Barcelona as the Magical Mountain. The Tibidabo mountain, standing at 512 meters, is the highest point in the Collserolla mountain range. It is popular for its breathtaking views over the city, the oldest amusement park in Spain, a neo-Gothic temple, a modern communications tower, an astronomical observatory, and above all, an air of enchantment. At the foot of the mountain, you'll find a curious mix of old and modern buildings, a blend of calm and activity, and one of the best panoramic views of Barcelona. If you plan to visit Tibidabo, remember that with your Barcelona bus touristic ticket, you get a discount on the main park entrance fee, which includes access to the funicular and the panoramic area. At the highest point, you will find the Tibidabo Amusement Park, inaugurated in 1899. It still retains some of its historic attractions combined with modern ones, from which you can fly over the city's skyline. It is the main entertainment center for Barcelona's children. In addition to revisiting childhood memories in these nostalgic rides, you can unleash pure adrenaline in the park's newest additions, such as the roller coaster, where you'll feel the thrill of every descent and the speed of sharp turns. The amusement park is open on select days for most of the year. You can visit from Wednesday to Sunday during the peak season of July and August. In the fall and spring, it's open weekends only. It closes completely from early January through early March. Hours vary, but you can generally expect the amusement park to open at 11 a.m. and close between 7 and 10 p.m. What location do you expect the next video to be? Let me know. This elegant, majestic boulevard was a showcase for Barcelona's bourgeoisie at the turn of the 19th century and links the Placa Catalunya with the district of Gracia, hence its name. The presence of Barcelona's finest modernista buildings makes this avenue a veritable open-air museum. With a little imagination, you can still hear the horse-drawn carriages, smell the early trams, and visualize the elegant ladies walking arm in arm with their husbands, accompanied by their maids who are looking after the children. This is what the Passeig de Gracia was like in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Barcelona was expanding. The new boulevard connected the old village of Gracia with the new city center. Barcelona's new artery, in the center of the newly built Eixample District, was the place moneyed bourgeois families chose to live. On either side of the street, they constructed imposing buildings that continue to delight everyone who passes by. On the pavement, we can see the organic paving stones designed by Gaudí, and along the boulevard are the street lamps by Pere Falquet, with their white mosaic benches. The architectural jewels stand side by side with some of Barcelona's most prestigious shops. Furthermore, another of the hallmarks of this Barcelona boulevard is that premium brands alternate with well-known, more affordable ready-to-wear fashion chains, as well as centuries-old craft establishments, elegant hotels, and select cafes. Therefore, in addition to having the possibility of visiting a showroom, enjoying a private collection show, or getting advice from a shopping advisor, this iconic Mediterranean fashion catwalk does not lack options to rest, savor a select appetizer, or sweeten your shopping day. Nou Barris is Barcelona's northernmost district. It comprises 13 neighborhoods which welcomed many of the incomers from all over Spain who came here to work in the 1950s and 60s. They are blue-collar areas with a distinct character that has evolved as a result of struggles by the community to improve their services and infrastructure. Before burgeoning as a housing area for the working class, Nou Barris was a rural space with country houses such as Can Basté and Can Vertgauer, which have been conserved to this day. Not far from here, the neighborhoods of La Guineueta, Verdum, and Villa Piscina y La Torre Lobeta offer a chance to stroll through the squares and hidden corners of the authentic working-class Barcelona. The district's hilly landscape hides neighborhoods yet to be explored. Canyel, Les Roquettes, Torre Baró, Can Peguera, and more. Now they are proud to show visitors their shopping streets in attractive and innovative green spaces. Maybe the clearest proof of this are the many green areas in the district, such as the Parc de la Guineueta, the Parc del Turó de la Pera, and the modern Parc Central de Nou Barris, which covers a surface area of 17 hectares and is the city's second biggest park. It opened in 1999 and was extended in 2003 and uses the greenery in its different spaces to integrate the district's unique and historic buildings, such as the former Santa Cruz Mental Hospital, the current home of the District Council, Can Carreras, an old farmhouse, and the Business Innovation Center, the Forum Nord. The busy shopping streets, the Passeig Valdaura and Via Giulia, are lively and full of character. If you want to enjoy excellent views of the city and its surrounding area, the Mirador de Torre Baró is the perfect spot. The Parc de la Ciutadella, Barcelona's urban green lung, is no ordinary park. In 1869, the demolition of the military citadel, built a century earlier by Philip V, was highly significant for a boom in Barcelona, with its sights firmly set on the 1888 Universal Exhibition. The result was a park which the architect Josep Fontserrat adapted to the needs of the World Fair. Relics of the exhibition can still be seen today in the Parc de la Ciutadella, with buildings such as the Castel del Tres Dragons, which occupies the original restaurant designed for the exhibition by Domènec and Montaner, the waterfall and lake designed by Fontserrat, and the beautiful plant house, the umbracle, and glass house, the Hivernacle. Barcelona Zoo has stood on the other side of the park since 1892. The Catalan Parliament stands in the parade ground in the former military arsenal of the citadel. Nearby, you can see a replica of Josep Lemona's beautiful sculpture, El Desconsol, which is one of the most important pieces of public art in the park. A giant mammoth and a bandstand are among the other elements that surprise visitors to this vibrant central park in Barcelona, which covers an area of 18 hectares. To someone who is not paying much attention, the number and variety of plants in the park may go unnoticed. The Town Hall website states that there are over 100 species of plants and a number of century-old trees. It's practically impossible to enter the park without cracking even the smallest smile immediately. The relaxed feeling with groups of friends or families enjoying the beautiful park is infectious. There is a sense of camaraderie among everyone, as people from all walks of life are harmoniously taking pleasure in Barcelona's sunshine and excellent weather. What's not to love? This lively square is the heart of Barcelona, and it's beating strongly. favorite meeting point. It's also the geographical space that separates the districts of Ciutadella and the Eixample. Steeped in history, the Plaça de Catalunya is the nerve center of the Catalan capital. The Plaça Catalunya, with its large shopping centers and department stores, is constantly teeming with people. It is Barcelona's most central area and a favorite meeting place for locals and visitors. It also connects the Eixample and the Old Town. The plaza, which was opened by King Alfonso XIII in 1927 and covers an area of 5 hectares, features several sculptures by well-known artists such as Clara and Limona. It was formerly an open piece of land located in front of the gates to the walled city and was planned by architects Pere Falquet, Puig i Cadafalch, and Francesc de Paula Nebot. There are 6 sculptural groups around the plaza that represent the 4 Catalan capital cities: wisdom and labor. Additionally, one of the corners of the plaza is home to Josep Maria Subirach's monument to the President of the Catalan government, Francesc Macià. On another corner of the plaza, you can find the famous Placa Catalunya fountain. When the city was preparing for the 1929 International Exhibition, some of Nou Barcelona's most luxurious hotels, bars, and theaters were built around the plaza. Almost none of them survive, except for the memory of names such as the Maison Dorée, the Colonne, and the Suisse. Standing at the end of Barcelona's Rambla near the sea, the Mirador de Colom, also known as the Columbus Monument in Barcelona, designed by Gaietà Buïgas, was built in 1888 on the occasion of the Universal Exhibition as a tribute to Christopher Columbus, who chose to disembark in the port of Barcelona on his return from America. The base of the Columbus Monument is located on the site where Christopher Columbus returned from discovering America in 1493 and reported to Queen Isabella and Ferdinand about his first journey to the New World. It is thought that Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy. He first moved to Portugal and later settled in Spain. The over 7-meter-high statue depicts Christopher Columbus pointing to the sea. Curiously, he's not pointing toward the new world he discovered. Inside, a lift raises the 51 meters high of the Columbus column, made of cast iron and Corinthian style, to the viewing gallery. If you look north, you'll be able to make out the Gothic Quarter, the Cathedral, Santa Maria del Mar, and the bustling Rambla. If you look towards the sea, to the east, following the coastline, you will be able to see the Olympic Marina and the modern Forum. To the south stands Montjuic Hill, with its castle at the top, and finally, if you look west, you'll see Collserola Natural Park, the vast green lung surrounding the city of Barcelona. And on the top of the Columbus Monument, dominating the sky of Barcelona, the Columbus statue holds a navigational chart in his left hand and points to the route to America with his right. The Glòries Tower and its lookout is one of the symbols of contemporary Barcelona, an enormous bullet-shaped cylinder emerging from the ground and pointing skywards, with a glass surface in which the colors of the Mediterranean are reflected. The tower has an oval, almost circular base, and the interior is spacious and open plan without pillars. The outer curtain wall is clad in different colored glass louvers, which can be tilted at different angles. The color scheme changes from the warmer reddish tones at the base to cooler blues and whites at the top. At night, when the tower is lit up and saturated with color, it is a beautiful sight. Approximately 40,000 square meters of 40-millimeter thick rock-wool stone wool was used beneath Torre Akbar's aluminium facade, where it protects occupants against excessive heat, noise, humidity, and fire risk. Fire safety is fundamental in high-rise buildings, making non-combustible stone wool an ideal choice. The insulation can also be shaped easily to create an insulated envelope for curved and irregular structures. So, at Torre Akbar, it forms part of a breathable outer skin that helps the building to be comfortable, safe, and energy efficient. And because of rock-wool stone wool's excellent durability, the occupants of Torre Akbar will enjoy these benefits for many years to come. The building has a lighting system designed by Jan Kerselet, with more than 4,500 LED lamps that have made it one of the city's most distinctive landmarks. Some of the 60,000 membranes that cover the facade contain photovoltaic cells, enabling the building to store its own energy. The LED lighting system makes it possible to create an infinite number of color combinations and shapes across the entire facade. They have made the Glòries Tower the focus of many a celebration. Do you want sea? Wonderful, because Barcelona has so much to offer for all lovers of maritime. The miles of beach promenade, the Olympic port with its pleasure boats, the view from Montjuic on container terminals and cruise ships. Another highlight begins in the Old Town by the Columbus statue and extends to the Barceloneta District, Port Vell, the Old Port. The Port of Barcelona stands between the mouth of the river Llobregat and the Barceloneta District. Its history can be traced back to the time of the Iberians in the 5th century BC, and it has been a key enclave in the history of the Mediterranean, in terms of migration, and as a trading and industrial hub in Catalonia. It is currently one of the most important ports in Europe. Port Vell commences at the end of Barcelona's La Rambla by the Columbus Monument, a major city landmark since 1886. At the top of the column, 50 meters above city, a viewing gallery boasts breathtaking views of the sea and the famous boulevard. On one side, the 14th century medieval shipyards, the Drassanes rails, provide the opportunity to visit Barcelona's Museu Marítim, and if you head for the waterfront in the Portal de la Pau, you'll be able to see the historic schooner, the paila boat Santa Eulalia, which was built in 1918 and named after Barcelona's co-patron saint. This is the departure point for the traditional pleasure boats, the golondrinas, which operate harbor rides around the Port Vell. Those who continue on the peninsula can admire the numerous sailboats and luxury yachts on both sides, which have their moorings here. Just before you reach the main street, Passeig de Gracia, on your right, rises the beautifully landscaped Palau del Mar, home to the Museum of Catalan History. The building almost forms the border between Port Vell and the Barceloneta district. The district of Sarria-Sant Gervasi stands on the north side of the diagonal at the foot of Collserola Park, the city's most important green lung. It is the result of the annexation of two villages by Barcelona, Sant Gervasi de Casol in 1897, and Sarria, the last separate village to become part of Barcelona, in 1921. With more than 8,000 hectares of surface and the richness of its surroundings, it becomes a natural treasure for sports lovers. The proximity of these rural areas to Collserola and their unique natural setting, with springs and green spaces, made them a popular residential area for the moneyed classes in the second half of the 19th century. This is why you'll see modernista summer holiday homes alongside the traditional architecture found in small villages. The most outstanding examples are the Casa Batllo and its viaduct, designed by Gaudí, and the mansions on the Avinguda del Tibidabo, with its famous century-old blue tram, the Tramvia Blau. It has street stalls, some of them run by the families who once inaugurated this emblem in the Sant Gervasi district, both selling local products and tasting. The Sarria-Sant Gervasi district is an ideal place to be surprised by the local commerce and to look for artisan gifts. Here, we can easily find decoration and restoration shops, or even custom-made sandals and bags workshops. In addition, the good public transport connection in Sarria-Sant Gervasi allows you to move comfortably from one point to another in the city. Sant Josep Market, better known as La Boqueria, is in the heart of La Rambla Avenue. It is Barcelona's most famous and picturesque market. This emblematic spot in the city, in what was once the patio of St. Joseph Church, was inaugurated in 1836. Initially, the market was open air, with traveling sellers and farmers' stalls, selling their goods directly to the public. It was eventually covered and made into an indoor market in 1914. Marquis Campo Sagrado, Catalonia's general captain, started to establish the rules for this traveling market in an area that became a large square after the convent was gone. With time, the Boqueria Market of Barcelona transformed itself in a modern market. The exterior of La Boqueria is a metallic glass structure. Nevertheless, it is the inside that is most interesting, making this market famous for the quality and diversity of products on sale from all over the world, a place well worth visiting. The best way to feel its special atmosphere is to stroll around the stalls with fruit and vegetables, fish and meat, and pop into its bars and restaurants to enjoy the mixture of sounds, aromas, and flavors. Nowadays, the third and fourth generation of sellers proudly show the oldest and most complete food market of Barcelona. They offer us vegetables, meat, fish, and thousands of other products and stalls with great charm and imaginative presentation. Boqueria Market is a space full of life, history, and unquestionable architectural value. Montserrat Monastery in Catalonia, Spain, is a must-do day trip from Barcelona. Officially, Santa Maria de Montserrat, the monastery is located high on the Montserrat mountain in Monistrol de Montserrat, Catalonia. It is a renowned Benedictine abbey and mountaintop sanctuary, surrounded by the tranquil Montserrat Natural Park. Montserrat Monastery is famous not only for its spectacular setting, but also for its sacred Black Madonna and one of the oldest boys' choirs in Europe, the Escolania de Montserrat. Its origins can be traced back to the late 19th century, when a small chapel was built near the place where, according to legend, a group of shepherds found an image of Our Lady of Montserrat, the patron saint of Catalonia since 1881. the image that is worshipped today, known as the Moreneta, or Black Madonna, due to the dark color of her skin, is a Romanesque-style carving dating from the 12th century. The new monastery was founded in 1025 by the Bishop of Vic, Abbot Oliba. The building was destroyed by the French troops during the Peninsular War and wasn't rebuilt until the middle of the 19th century, following the arrival of a new community and with the involvement of the great Catalan Art Nouveau, or Modernista, architects who continued to expand the Benedictine monastery. At the present time, it has a community of some 60 monks devoted to prayer, work, and hosting pilgrims, and is one of the key stages on the Ignatian Way and the Way of St. James. Delve into the history of Montserrat through the variety of visits on offer: morning, afternoon, full day, balloon ride, on horseback, food, and other options. The Monastery of Santa Maria de Montserrat and the Way to the Holy Grotto have been listed as assets of local cultural interest by the Catalan government since 2001. Montserrat is an important pilgrimage destination with a Benedictine monastery that houses the Black Madonna, a significant religious symbol. Even if you're not religious, you'll surely be amazed by a concert of the boys' choir of the music school. The fresh air on the mountain, the great views, the cultural offerings, and the peace and spirituality that you can experience, even as a non-believer, create an exciting contrast to the city. The W Barcelona Hotel, popularly known as the Hotel Vella due to its shape, is a building designed by the Ricardo Bofill Taller d'Arquitectura in La Barceloneta district of Barcelona, in the expansion of the port of Barcelona. The hotel is managed by Marriott International, marketed under the brand W Hotels. The building, designed by Ricardo Bofill, stands in 7 hectares of land reclaimed from the sea surface in the construction of the new entrance to the harbor. It is also known to resemble the Burj Al Arab of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The five-star hotel comprises 473 rooms, 67 suites, 400 employees, a bar located on the rooftop, a spa and fitness center, indoor and outdoor pools, terraces, beaches, restaurants, dance rooms, and other facilities grouped under a platform of terraces. What differentiates it from the other hotels in Barcelona? In terms of function space, 10,000 square feet, the Great Room features a floor-to-ceiling window with stunning views of the Mediterranean. Combined with our 14 breakout rooms and 5 terraces, we are perfect for conferences of all sizes. In addition, OW Barcelona features 5 F&B outlets, including a rooftop cocktail lounge and beach club. Perfect for incentive trips, we also have 3 pools, 2 of which are outdoors and 1 indoors, as part of the new wellness and fitness area. The indoor pool is a great place to hang out, and if you're looking for some pampering, don't miss the opportunity to visit the spa for deep tissue massages, body wraps, and aromatherapy. Knox, one of the 4 restaurants, specializes in Japanese cuisine and serves dinner. A poolside bar, fitness center, and spa tub are other notable amenities at this luxury hotel. Guests rave about the helpful staff and facilities. The Venetian Towers is the popular name for a pair of towers on Avinguda de la Reina Maria Cristina at its junction with Plaça d'Espanya in Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain. There is 1 tower on either side of the street. The towers are 47 meters high, with a 7.2 meter square cross-section. The bottom section of each is built of artificial stone, the main section of red brick, and the top section is a colonnaded viewing gallery built of artificial stone and topped by a pyramidal copper roof. They were modeled on the campanile of St. Mark's Basilica in Venice. They serve an ornamental function to mark the entrance to the exhibition district, now known as Fira de Barcelona, and the start of the Grand Avenue leading up to the Palau Nacional on Montjuic, which houses the National Art Museum of Catalonia. Originally, the towers were open to the public, who could climb the internal stairs to the viewing galleries, but they are now normally closed. In later years, the Western Tower housed equipment for controlling the illumination of the Magic Fountain of Montjuic, 350 meters away at the far end of Avinguda Maria Cristina, and the gallery of the Eastern Tower housed sirens for signaling possible emergencies. The disused equipment was removed during the 2013/14 restoration work. The towers are registered as protected structures by Barcelona City Council, with a protection level of B:B, a structure of local interest. Following restoration work, the towers opened to the public for the first time since 1929. For a 2-day period during October 2014. Las Arenas de Barcelona is a commercial shopping complex located in Plaça Espanya. The structure was first used as a bullfighting arena, but was reconstructed and designed into a commercial center in March 2011 by Richard Rogers. Arenas de Barcelona is now a shopping, sports and music center with a 360 rooftop view of the city. When you're in Barcelona, make sure to visit the Las Arenas Shopping Center, a remarkable shopping and entertainment destination, housed in a beautifully converted historic bull ring. As you step inside, you'll be greeted by a diverse range of over 100 stores, including high street fashion favorites, trendy boutiques, and local artisanal shops. Whatever your style or budget, Las Arenas has something to suit your taste, ensuring a delightful shopping spree. Once you've explored the shops to your heart's content, it's time to indulge your taste buds at one of the many dining options available. From cozy cafes and quick bites to fine dining restaurants, Las Arenas caters to every craving. The Palafolls Castle is a medieval military building located at the top of the Castle Hill in the municipality of Palafolls, Barcelona Province, Catalonia, Spain. The fortress is located on the crest of an elongated low mountain, stretching from northwest to southeast and almost parallel to the Tordera River. Very dilapidated, it was built overlooking the lower course and fertile plain of the Tordera River, in a strategic location to control the main road from Girona to Barcelona along the coast. The castle became the center of the important barony of Palafolls in the county of Girona, whose jurisdiction extended to what is now Malgrat, Palafolls, Santa Susanna, and part of Blanes. The name comes from Palatiolo, and there is evidence that the site was fortified long before that. In the 13th century, Palafolls Castle was already a large fortress. It is believed that most of the buildings were built between the 12th and 15th centuries. The entire castle can be freely explored without any staff or elaborate security measures in place. One of the highlights of the Castle of Palafolls is its breathtaking views. Located at the far end of the castle, visitors have the opportunity to climb up the watchtower, granting them an awe-inspiring 360-degree panorama of the surrounding mountainous terrain. It is worth noting that reaching the top requires ascending a small metal ladder and exerting some effort, which may deter those with a fear of heights. Facing the seaside, the castle offers a magnificent vista of the coastal area stretching from Blanes to Malgrat de Mar. The Castle of Palafolls offers a captivating journey through history and a chance to appreciate the natural beauty of the surrounding landscape. The Catalan Parliament, which is located in Barcelona, is housed in a building with imposing architecture with a turbulent history dating back to the 18th century, when it was built as a military arsenal for the repressive citadel. It has been the seat of Parliament since the reinstatement of democracy and civil liberties. Governor's Palace, the Palau del Gobernador, which is now a school, the chapel, a building that is now a military church, and the Arsenal, the seat of the Catalan Parliament. The architecture of this Parliament building still looks very much the same as it did when it was designed by the architect and military engineer Prospero de Verboom. Built between 1716 and 1748, this robust and imposing structure has 2 stories and an attic space set out on a cross-shaped ground plan with a central dome and 4 inner courtyards. The building is made from stone quarried on Montjuic and terracotta tiles, and is decorated with the busts of eminent figures associated with Catalan art. Walden 7 is a project implementing some of Ricardo Bofill's earliest ambitions and addressing most of the problems of modern city life. It is located on the same lot as Taller de Arquitectura, based in the refurbished ruins of an old cement factory. The housing structure benefits from Bofill's earlier research and the idea of providing public spaces and gardens for residents to enjoy an enhanced quality of living. Working to a budget appreciably lower than the norm for subsidized housing at the time. With unusual funding, Walden 7 rose up as a monument and point of reference in this area to the west of Barcelona. The Parc del Fòrum is located on the waterfront at the northernmost end of the city. The park was built for the 2004 Universal Forum of Cultures. It isn't a park or green space in the strictest sense of the word, but a large area which brings together a series of spaces and amenities which host a wide range of events. Nowadays, the central stage of this great meeting place is a multifunctional venue that has become a place for meetings and relationships, thanks to the uniqueness, versatility, and accessibility of its spaces. El Parc del Fòrum, with an area of 200,000 square meters, includes the spaces of Leonardo da Vinci Square, the Afusellat Square, Ernest Luch Square, the Gran Esplanada, the Parc dels Auditoris, the Bosque de Columnes, the Forum Park Tents, and Placa Photovoltaica. The BSM Forum Division manages and coordinates the Forum Park in order to revitalize the space, to offer the best experiences to the public, with a wide range of proposals, and guaranteeing the highest quality and respect for the environment and the surroundings. That is why the park has an offer of permanent entertainment and leisure activities, with operators who manage spaces dedicated to leisure or linked to the sport, maritime and educational aspects. In addition, Parc del Fòrum has established itself as the city's reference space for outdoor events in various fields, such as sports, culture, family, music, and education, all of which stimulate the city of Barcelona. MB92 Barcelona specializes in refit, repair and maintenance services for super yachts measuring up to 200 meters in length, offering world-class facilities and expertise. Located in the heart of Barcelona, one of the world's most prestigious maritime destinations, the shipyard has become a key hub for the global superyacht industry. As part of the MB92 group, which also includes MB92 La Ciotat, MB92 Red Sea, and MB92 Golfe Juan, the company upholds a unified standard of excellence. Its mission is to deliver a superior client experience through constant innovation, attentive listening, and a commitment to quality service. Each project at MB92 Barcelona is managed by a team of over 180 skilled professionals dedicated to precision and efficiency. These teams collaborate closely with renowned international specialists and suppliers across the MB92 Group's extensive global network. Sustainability plays a central role in the company's long-term strategy, guiding both its operations and its partnerships within the superyacht industry. MB92 Barcelona actively works to reduce its environmental footprint by implementing responsible energy and waste management practices. The shipyard also engages with clients to promote eco-conscious refit and maintenance solutions that support sustainable yachting. The Palau Nacional is a building on the hill of Montjuic in Barcelona. It was the main site of the 1929 International Exhibition. It was designed by Eugenio Sandoya and Enric Catà under the supervision of Pere Domènech Aurora. Since 1934, it has been home to the National Art Museum of Catalonia. With a ground surface of 32,000 square meters, the Spanish Renaissance-inspired building has a rectangular floor plan, flanked by 2 side and 1 rear square sections, with an elliptical dome in the center. The fountains by the staircases leading to the palace are the work of Carles Buïgas. Between 1996 and 2004, the palace was extended to accommodate the National Art Museum's entire collection of over 5,000 artworks. On August 18, 1924, the engineer Maria Rubio Belver, member of the organization and lawyer of J.M. Almoral Carbó, launched a competition of projects. The participation was open to all Spanish architects, who could present an individual project or one together with the proposal of a construction company. It was the latter option that gave way to the final winner. Ten projects in total were presented. That of José María Martín was rejected, as it was considered outside of the scope of the project. The design of the National Palace is a unified style of Spanish Renaissance architecture with an air of academic classicism. It is the result of different functional forms and construction procedures, resolved by a technical language attributed to the Barcelona School of Architecture. The construction of the palace consists of the combination of traditional systems based on symmetry, as clearly outlined in its composition, and that of the building procedure dominated by more modern techniques and materials such as the use of concrete. You will then walk between the 2 Venetian towers and take the convenient escalators, past the magic fountain, to the impressive palace atop Montjuic Hill. The design of the National Palace is a unified style of Spanish Renaissance architecture with an air of academic classicism. It is the result of different functional forms and construction procedures, resolved by a technical language attributed to the Barcelona School of Architecture. The construction of the palace consists of the combination of traditional systems based on symmetry, as clearly outlined in its composition, and that of the building procedure dominated by more modern techniques and materials such as the use of concrete. The Eixample is the result of one of the most splendid periods in the city's history, a time when it was establishing its position as the economic powerhouse of Catalonia in Spain in the mid-19th century. This economic growth was reflected in the expansion of the city when the Madrid government lifted the ban it had imposed since 1714 on building outside the city walls, following the victory of the Bourbon dynasty in the War of the Spanish Succession. The Eixample project was the brainchild of the engineer and town planner Ildefons Cerdà, who designed an egalitarian city with uniform neighborhoods and evenly distributed public services. Its grid-like layout and blocks with chamfered corners have made it an iconic symbol of Barcelona and the subject of study around the world as a paradigm of the birth of modern rational urban planning. The plan was approved in 1860, but it wasn't implemented until several decades later, tying in with the greatest creative expression of the Modernista architectural style, which permeates the entire district and makes the Eixample a peerless ensemble in Europe. During this period, under the reign of the Church of the Sagrada Família, Barcelona's thriving bourgeoisie competed in aesthetic refinement and sought to express their wealth and taste through architecture. They hired the foremost architects of the time, including Gaudí, Domènech i Montaner, and Puig i Cadafalch, to design their homes in modernista style, such as La Pedrera, Casa Batllo, Casa Leo Morera, and Casa Amatller, with interiors and facades richly decorated in wood, stone, ceramic, leaded glass, and wrought iron. The middle part of L'Eixample is often called Quadrat d'Or, Golden Square, describing the elegance of this area. The North Main Road leading Passeig de Gracia connects the medieval city with the artist Gracia district and is lined with chic boutiques and upscale restaurants. Two of the most famous monuments of Barcelona's most famous citizen, Antoni Gaudí, can be done at Passeig de Gracia. Admire the Casa Milà and the Casa Batllo. Farther east, the Sagrada Família Cathedral. Overall, the Quadrat d'Or contains about 150 historically protected buildings. Keep your eyes peeled as you stroll around the neighborhood and admire the legacy of the finest Catalan architecture of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. You'll explore iconic streets like Passeig de Gracia and Rambla de Catalunya, home to top fashion boutiques, featuring leading local and international brands. The area also boasts countless restaurants serving Catalan haute cuisine and a wide variety of cafes and bars, making it the favorite shopping spot for both locals and visitors to the city. Barcelona leaves every traveler with memories painted in the colors of its vibrant soul. From the whimsical creations of Gaudí to the sunlit stretches of Barceloneta Beach, the city blends art, architecture, and life in perfect harmony. Its bustling markets, lively plazas, and seaside promenades pulse with energy from sunrise to well past midnight. The sound of flamenco, the taste of tapas, and the scent of the Mediterranean breeze create an experience that lingers long after you leave. Barcelona is not just a destination, it's a feeling, a rhythm that seeps into your heart and stays there. As the sun sets over the Sagrada Família, one thing becomes clear. Barcelona doesn't just welcome visitors, it captures them forever.